to the boot camp page on the Sound Investing Portfolios, you're going to see each one of these strategies 1 year at a time. You're going to see their return. We have that table for people who really enjoy that kind of thing. And one last thing about these portfolios. The small cap value, it is not our intent to recommend that you put all your money in small cap value. On the other hand, you might have a Roth IRA, a couple of years of Roth IRA somewhere, that when you could do Roth IRAs, or you were not in a 401k, however it happened, but you might decide you're going to put that money all in small cap value. And this will give you a sense of the potential from small cap value. Now, there was a time, and I hope I've got it here. I just looked at the periods, 50-year periods, 40-year periods, starting in 1930. And I looked at the S&P 500. The average for that 40-year period, 9. The next 40-year period, it was 10. The next 40-year period, starting at 1950, was 12. Starting in 1960, 12. Starting in 1970, 10. Starting in 1980, 11. Starting in 1990, from 2000 to 2024, it was 11. Pretty consistent, really, over those periods. When I look at the small cap value over these periods, 12, 16, 17, 16, 15, 15, and the final from 2000 to 2024, 13.6. Yes, there is the possibility that it's not going to get 16, 17, 16, 15, 15 again. We don't know. But there will be people who will want to take a piece of money and just do small cap value, the two fund strategy, the worldwide all small cap value. They're there for a reason. They aren't there to try to entice people to put all their money in small cap value. Let's take a few minutes, Daryl, and let's look at 70-30. Please.
Okay, yeah, this table is 50% international. So this table is now 30% international, 70% US. So the one thing, and this will probably only work for those who are watching the video here, but there's not a lot of difference. This is, I'll flip back and forth between these here, these two charts here a little bit. So this is the 70-30. Watch your favorite portfolio and your favorite time period. Of course, the time period shouldn't change except maybe this last one here. So you can see, and I've highlighted the worldwide ones here. These should be the only ones that will change between these two. So you can see the worldwide 50-50, 11-9, worldwide 4 fund 12-1. That's a 50-50. If you go to the 70-30, it's 11-9 for the worldwide for the worldwide ultimate buy, and 12-3 for the 70-30 internet US international. If you look down these here, the returns in this column here, this is the 70-30. That's the 50-50.
So
I feel like an optometrist here. Better or worse? Better or worse? So if you look at the differences here, you can see there is some difference. In some decades, things are better in the 50-50, and in some decades, they're better in the 70-30.
And
which
you'll
you would
find
kind of expect, actually. So.
And you'll find in the all value portfolios, and there are several, that there's an advantage to the 70-30. I think a lot of people are probably more likely to have 30% in internationals than 50. So you might want to spend your time at home looking at the 70-30 portfolios rather than the 50-50. But they're not life-changing differences. And so I think but I do think it's helpful to be able to compare what happens when you change that percentage of US and international. So, so the thing, of course, that's missing for many of you right now is the funds that we would use to fill these portfolios into four fund strategy, which is 25% each, large cap blend, large cap value, small cap blend, small cap value. What ETF would you use for each of those? And the good fortune is that Chris Pedersen has taken the time to do the homework. And Chris, what would you guess? When do you expect you'll have the latest recommendations uh, on the best in class ETFs?
So the second time in two podcasts you've asked me that question.
Well, I was going to ask the reason here. I thought we would look for a date theoretically.
Yeah,
So
I last time I said by the end of February, and I agree with that still.
okay,
I'm doing the first step is fairly easy, but then there's always, the devil in the details. There's a lot of things that need to be scrutinized, and that's what I'm working through right now. And then there's the updating of all of the contents so that we can roll it out in a coordinated fashion.
yeah.
So I think by the end of February, there's a very solid chance that we'll have that already. And there are likely to be some changes this time around because there are a number of new offerings. And one of the tricky things is that some of them don't have very much history. And so there's a judgment call to try and figure out A, whether they're better, and B, whether we have enough information to be confident that they're better. And the other thing is in this update of the best in class ETFs, we're going to try to give people a feeling for how different the best in class ones are from the alternatives that we offer to try and make sure that everybody has a commission free choice. And in some cases, let's say a fund changes, it might be less than a percentage difference in expected return, and you may not want to take a tax hit in a taxable account to make that change. But it might be, several percentage in the expected return. I can't tell you how they're actually going to perform. I can just tell you based on how much exposure they have to different market attributes, based on that and the historical value of those attributes, what the expectation would be going forward. But I think it's still informative to have a number. And so we're going to try and provide a number that gives people an idea of how different things are. And then they can make a judgment call on whether it's worthwhile to make the switch or not. So I'd say end of February, we should have that. And I think it's going to be a nice enhancement on the process. And I think it'll be good news for our investors.
And by the way, Daryl and I have seen the first cut. And I love what Chris has added because it's going to give you an opportunity to see what kind of return difference there is between what you what you might hold and 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 moving into the new recommended ETF. Before, people just didn't have a clue. And he's quantified it in a way that I think is it seems fair and based on factor investing and the impact of the different factors. So I think you're going to enjoy that. I think you'll find that helpful in making some important decisions. So, gentlemen, you've done it again. I think this is the first boot camp piece that we've recorded. I am actually going to record on my own in the next week the ultimate buy and hold strategy. I don't. I think I can walk through each one of those changes, and there's not so much that you can add there. It's easy for me to do it. I've been doing it for 20, 25 years or something. Um, but this is great to get it started. And it's so much earlier than last year. And Daryl, thank you for getting things powered up so that we can have an early start in the year. So there you go. This is our best effort to try to head you on the right path. We'll have an article about the sound investing portfolios, and we'll have a podcast. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it, and share this with the people that you think it would be helpful. And if you will, direct them to our website, paulmerriman.com. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, I hope you'll do that as well. Okay, thanks a lot.
I know you don't have enough to do, Chris, but
Have I shown
no.
you my to-do list?
Yes, I know. Our to-do lists are always this long.
I showed Paul my to-do list.
Oh, geez, it looks like mine. So that maybe a little longer than mine, but of course, I've got a big chunk of mine done for the year. Neener,
Good
neener,
for
neener.
you.